What are you doing?
I'm gonna paint a little bit.
Having fun?
Yeah, I've been having a. It's. I wanted to go on because there's been a whole lot of shenanigans once again in the a world of role playing. Hold on a second. I got.
Yeah, I've not paid any real attention. A little here, a little there. Don't give a shit. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Don't know who half the people are. Don't care. Although I suspect Avengers somehow implicated, which bums me out. Um,
I don't.
I'm friends.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him, and I'm friends with Josh. So that's not going to change unless they change it, and I don't think that's a likelihood.
That's only half. That's only a third of the shenanigans going on right now. There's that bigger thing with Tank that was on Tankar's show that sociologist wrote a paper about all of
No,
the
I thought that was
shenanigans.
all part of it.
No, that's a different thing. I think.
Oh, really? Then I don't. Then there. Well, then what was I talking about?
Well, Venger, and well, it's kind of, but Venger and not Venger, Pundit and Josh have beef,
Yeah, and
and
that's
there might
part
be.
of that's part of the article, right?
Well, it's their reaction to the article, I think, more than anything else. Either one of them are
Right.
actually thinking it.
It doesn't Bender hang out with Pundit?
Yeah, but that's I don't. I think that's more of a what do you call it? A relationship of opportunity. They sort of they have a stream together, but
Right. Well,
I know that Pundit really badmouths a lot of Avengers work, and I don't know how that might be all in good fun, but I don't think that friends really do that to each other.
nope, nope, nope. That's what I was referring to. Because I don't know Pundit. I've heard a single good thing about him, but I'm a huge fan of Venger. I like what Josh does, and I'm friends with Josh and Venger, and I'm always going to be unless they decide otherwise. I just sent freaking Venger a crap ton of money, so
Oh, what is
I'm
that?
certain that. What?
Hold on a
Oh,
second.
that was my air fryer.
Oh,
Making dinner for the boys.
Well, I said
Are you actually live? I can't tell. I'm on a different device.
I am live,
Okay.
and I am going to paint a little. I am going to try to get at least one mini in for the mini warm up challenge.
I've got a 30 or 40 I think are done. I've got a couple need some finishing touches. I'm going to try and submit a submission by the end of the night.
No, well, I haven't felt like it, and I've had a hard time with life, and so I'm trying to. I'm going to make an honest effort to get this Necromunda guy here that I've just. And I've got this ring light and camera set up so people, if this channel is going to be called Bo Paints Minis, I better paint a mini.
Yeah, we think, yeah.
So I'm going to paint this one on stream, at least enough to I can say, hey, look, man, life sucks, and I'm trying.
Oh, life is wonderful.
Yeah,
It
well,
just has moments of less than ideal circumstances.
okay, I am. So what I'm going to do for folks in the audience, I'm going to base coat this guy's face with a little bit of brown. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hear you.
Okay.
The funny thing about skin is that's not quite the right color. Regardless of what skin tone a person is in real life, it's all red underneath because blood is red.
Right.
So if you really want to do a good job on a face, you base coat with a really dark color and a dark red or a dark brown and work your way up because that's where all the blood is. So, and I'm really bad at faces, but
I just
I
do washes on faces. I don't do the decal anymore.
I just I'm trying out my new Vallejo acrylic metal color airbrush colors because James L said they were phenomenal, and Brian sent me a gift card for Christmas.
um
So I'm gonna.
the thing I like about the Viejo and even really the Army Painter airlines is that they're much thinner out of the bottle
Mhm.
than a lot of the other the non-air paints, and so they tend to be easier to thin and easier to make flow. Okay, I'm just checking my other camera to make sure that my hands actually. I can't paint through the camera, obviously. That would be cool if I could, but
What's all this fucking drama you guys are talking about? What the hell's happening?
Yeah,
well,
just YouTubers and some
no, it's
weird
much bigger
freaking
than that.
academic.
A couple of several game people on a whole Discord got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, basically turning against themselves. It's an adage among certain um, communities that they will always eat themselves in the end. And so you can never be orthodox enough for a certain crew. And there was some allegations of sexual abuse and all kinds of other stuff involved there. And I don't know all the details of it, and I don't really want to. But there's a whole lot of he said, she said. But there's other things going on too. I mean, there are some gamers that
Who the actual people? Don't fucking beat around the bush. Just tell
I
me.
don't know. One of them's a guy named Zach Smith, who's an indie game developer. I don't know him, but everybody thinks he's a piece of garbage. Evidently, the left
Never
hate him,
heard
and
of
the
him.
right hate him. I don't know him. It's none of my business. That's not the point. The point is that
Never heard of him until now.
it's spilled over into people that we do know, like Josh and Vendor have somehow gotten involved, and everybody's choosing up sides, and it's weird. And then there's something also going on with Bear over on Bear's channel, and he's causing. I mean, it's I quit the hobby. Just kidding. I didn't quit the hobby.
Bear? I just talked to Bear today on the Humgar show. He didn't say anything.
Did you watch the videos on his channel?
No,
Yeah, I
no.
didn't get a phone call or an invite to that. I mean, I was busy. Maybe that's why. But nobody said, "Hey, Shadow, join Hungar's show." So I have to give him a ration of shit, even though
Well,
he knows I was
showed up.
busy.
He's like off the he's off the hook, dude. He's just doing it whenever he wants to.
Well,
No, I
that's
get it. I'm there for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Tuesdays and Thursdays at that time I am actually doing other things. So no big deal. I was just gonna give him a hard time because he usually gives me a hard time if I'm a minute late.
Watching.
Hey, Hungar, what's happening, bro? And I saw Bear's thing or a little short he did. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're always welcome on the show. Hey, what's up, that darn cat?
I think again, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. I work and I work and I work. I got family. I got other hobbies that are not gaming related. And I was telling Bear that the only reason I'm even here at all is because it's doing this YouTube thing, and as little as I actually do, has led me to one real life game and some friends that I can meet with once a week and actually play a game. And like I said, I've got hobbies outside of YouTube. I've got a full-time job. I got a full-time family. I can't be on YouTube as much as Hungar is, for example. If I can spend a couple hours a week doing are those gloves. I think those are gloves. Damn it! Oh well. I just painted the glove. I just base coated his glove with. Oh well, I'll fix it. That's
It's
a
funny,
glove.
A happy little mistake.
I'm doing some hands right now, and if they were supposed to be gloves, they're not. I got these from James L. I think they're North Star minis, but I forget the ones that had those German robot-looking dudes. Were those North Star, Brian?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, I love North Star.
What do you
I
think,
love
Brian?
their
Finish
metals
this
are
guy.
okay, but I love their plastic kits. They're not
This
the
guy from North Star.
Yeah, that's artisan.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's from
Okay.
their
I don't know how.
adventure.
Okay, there's so many companies out there, and James has sent me hundreds of freaking minis over the last couple of years. Oh shit, I forgot to do this, dude.
Well,
So
I
let's
think
work on
North
that.
Star sells various numerous lines now.
Well, I gonna work on this armor a little bit more. It's starting to get. I did a little bit of it yesterday, so you can see that the black, the way I do the black armor, it's never really black. It's always a dark blue or a dark. I don't like black on minis because it tends to wash out all the detail. So it's always a lighter color than black.
I always just give them a wash of purple or dark, purple or blue from Army Painter and call it a day.
No.
It turns out good. I have this one mini off to show you. It turned out so perfect that ever since then I just like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll paint it black and give it this wash so when you look at it at the right angle, it's purplish, and that's all I'm shooting for.
Well, and another thing, I'm also literally painting this under a magnifying lens. So I'm not going for the 6 foot rule for this mini. I'm literally going for the closer than close.
You drive yourself crazy.
No, I'm not driving myself crazy. Why would I drive myself crazy? Look.
He started out crazy.
That's
I think that was the implication. Yeah.
And then I'm going to do a little bit of wet blending. I want to darken the bottom up a little bit more. So I'm I'm thinning the paint. I'm not using water for the black. I'm actually using a Daler and Rowney ink called Payne's Gray to make a dark glaze for the bottom of the armor. There. Is that coming through okay? And then I might do the gun with a similar technique, but I'll use the Viejo Air blue gray for the gun. Like I said, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. And since I'm not making armies, I can afford to spend a little bit of time and do what sparks joy, right? That was what I was saying to Bear earlier, man. It's like if you like making content, make content. If making content stresses you out, then don't make content.
yeah.
You gotta inevitably. I mean, I'm never going to be a millionaire doing this. If I do this for an hour a week to talk
Be a dollar air.
about gaming. A little bit more gray.
Mel was saying like, I was doing my latest shit on my table, and I was plugging in like the link, whatever, and I put like, Mel is cute as hell and is my woman. At the end, she's like, "What do you put that for?" I'm like, "Because I always put weird shit in the links, right? It'll be like Weird World War II, 3D printing, miniature wargaming, and then I'll do some like, cat smells like dandruff or some shit. And she's like, "Well, you need to do this." And she started to go through all this like these words that don't pertain to the fucking video. I'm like, baby, stop. That's not what we do here. We're not doing this to get fucking views. We're not doing this to make $1 million. We're doing this because I'm a fucking war gamer and I'm a hobbyist. I'm not here to like. I mean, if I get a bunch of people, that's cool. But that's not why I'm doing all this shit. She's like, yeah, but you could have so many more. That's not what it's about. It's about having fun. Me and Brian. Like, okay. And then she said, you know, that girl that has 2 videos and 17,000 views, she's doing the same thing. It's like, I do hate that shit, though. You got a person, some female, does 2 fucking videos, 2 5-minute long videos, and she's got like 80,000 people.
Well, because it's just the way the world runs, dude. I
told Mel she needs to start wearing her bikini when we're on videos.
There's levels to it. I mean, I kind of feel the same way when you two tell me that I should just slap a wash on my mini and be done with it.
Well, I do that because I fucking paint armies, dude. I'm like, I don't have time to. I mean, I used to do that. Trust me, man. Back in the day, I used to be meticulous, and then I just realized that when I did that, no one really noticed. And then I just I had so much shit to paint that
That's the thing. I mean, honestly, I'm not gaming with these minis.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it like a showcase stuff.
Honestly, like this mini right here. If I painted it and then when I was done, if I put it and if I stripped all the paint and painted it again, it'd be the same thing. Why do I want to hold boxes and boxes and boxes of minis that I'm going to paint once and put in a box and never look at again?
Hey.
What do you resemble that remark?
I used mine in my games. Everything I painted, I used in a game.
Right.
But I haven't used anything in a game in,
Well, you just haven't done any gaming in a while.
Yeah. Well, not any serious gaming.
I'm gaming on Discord. Am I using minis in my games?
No, actually, when I ran my not Direwell, the other one, the one where everyone thinks they're people, but they're actually kobolds.
Right.
And they never found that out. They never reached that point in the game. I was using minis for that one.
What's the worst when you don't finish a game? Like you have this great story and this cool twist, and it just never got there.
Yeah, because I went through and I was very careful. I mean, I had to make up my own measuring systems, like for weight and height, so no one would figure out that they were only 4 foot tall and only weighed 70 pounds. Because I didn't want them figuring it out from that kind of clue, and the fact that they didn't have hair, or they had tails. I just never brought it up, and so no one asked. Don't ask, don't tell.
Hey Brian, did you dye your hair or something?
No, dude, I shaved my beard
He
off.
trimmed his beard, which was what's that kind of gonk move?
No, I saw that, but the sides are a lot browner than usual.
No. There's just not as much gray from my beard, probably. I still got my Reed Richards Nick Fury things on the side there.
Meanwhile, I have the stripe in my hair up here. Dang it!
Stripe.
It's hard getting a haircut because it creates an optical illusion.
That you have hair?
No, that there's nothing there.
Oh.
You look at it from the front, and it's hard to see the silver hair in amongst the brown. What are you painting, Brian?
That grass out of my yard. My neighbor's like blowing like a grass. like out from the driveway into the street, and I just yelled at him, "Keep that grass out of my yard!"
Mhm. Mhm.
I guess corporate guys who own this trailer park are coming this week, and everybody's freaking out like they're gonna call me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they're gonna give out fines. I go, look, I'm not even on a fucking lease. I didn't sign anything to agree to any kind of like, certain whatever.
Not an HOA.
Yeah, I'm not fucking liable for anything I didn't sign for. Like, oh, they'll still write you up. Like, they can write me up all. I don't have to fucking pay it. Shit. They can, if they want to evict me, then they have to give me 30 days.
There we go.
But it's not like my yard is a mess. I keep a nice place, so.
All right. Now I want to do a little. Oh, there he is. Golden So Flat White. This is the best white mini paint ever.
Oh no, dude, that stuff you sent me was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What is it?
Golden
Yeah,
So Flat White.
Yeah, that's
Send me a link.
It has a very high pigment, and the pigment is also very, very fine.
It's really good, man.
It's not mini paint. It's a high end acrylic, paint. It's an artist paint.
Like an artist, yeah.
Like somebody does portraits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Only
it's
acrylic
acrylic,
instead of
not-
oils.
Yeah, it's acrylic
Yeah.
though. But the thing about it is a lot of paint is not the pigment is not one color. They'll actually mix the pigment to make the paint. So if you thin it, you can thin it to a point where the paint will break down, and it'll break down into just garbage. And the golden
Like
So
having
Flat,
a green paint that breaks into the blue and the yellow.
but golden So Flat paints don't break down. You can thin them. You can thin them a lot, and they mix with other colors really well. I use the golden So Flat White a lot to build up highlights. I could mix it with the blues and the greens. I very seldom actually use it as white because I do so little painting with actual white. But when I want to build up a highlight, I use it a great deal. Like right here, I'm building up some blue highlights for the armor. I'm trying to get the right amount of the green or the dark blue with the Payne's gray and the white to build up. See right there, to build up a nice Bob Ross style, Now load up your brush. I'm just going to pull a little bit of that Payne's gray in. There you go. See that? Pretty. Use that to highlight the guy's knife a little bit here.
I always wondered why you paint stuff but you don't play with it. I guess you just like to paint.
I would love to play, but I've got no one to play with.
Play with your boys.
They're not interested.
No, they're not.
And not only that, but Brian, I've got other hobbies. The thing is, wargaming or playing RPGs with minis is 3 hobbies. It's not one hobby. 1, you got to build the game. 2, you got to play the game. 3, you got to build the minis and paint the minis to play the game. Well, now all of a sudden my 1 hour hobby has turned into a 4 hour hobby. And this is not even my first hobby. This is what I do when I come down to the basement by myself, and I've got an hour, either before work or after work, and I want to de-stress, and I don't want to deal with anybody. And the other problem is playing a war game with people means you got to deal with people.
Now I've tried when I've gone up to visit Bo. I've tried to run games for him and his boys, and they've just not been so interested,
Alright.
My middle boy does.
Bo, say hi to everybody in chat. You got a bunch of people there. You got Charles. You got Janet from another planet.
Janet from another planet.
Wow.
You've got
I don't think I know
Hungar.
Janet
you've
from
got-
another planet. Oh, hey, a
Oh,
fucking
she's awesome. If you guys haven't subscribed to Janet from another planet, what are you doing with your life?
I am subscribed to Janet from another planet. Actually,
What is
I
Janet
am.
from another planet? What does she do? What's her channel?
Just go. You'll be pleasantly surprised. She's awesome.
She does movie reviews. She does general weirdness.
Oh, weird.
She does it-
I am the master of
She does-
keeping it weird, girl.
and she does the Friday Shit Show. She hangs out a lot with Bruce Lombardo.
Yeah.
That rhymes. And she's just a cool kid.
Yeah.
You guys need to check out Adam's Wargaming China. That's pretty badass channel too.
Oh, Wargaming China. Yeah, I like that a lot actually.
Is that special dinnerware or what?
No, it's a Wargaming. It's the real World War II.
Real War, yeah.
World War II before the U.S. got involved in World War II.
Oh, yeah. The Manchurian campaign, among other
He did
things.
it from 1932 to 45, China.
Yeah.
Man, I am so bummed. My freaking air fryer just took a shit. My air fryer just took a shit on me. I use this thing every single day.
Well, that's probably why I took a shit, man.
I've had it I've had it since before COVID, and it's just freaking awesome. But now, gonna have to go get another one this weekend, and that wasn't in the budget.
In the last couple years, we have obtained 3 crock pots and 4 fucking air fryers. Don't ask me how. All of a sudden, it's like Belle's mom and her sister's giving us a fucking air fryer and a crock pot.
They're
and I'm just like,
really good for you. They're really
they are.
they're
We
really.
use all the 4? Look, I need it.
We have. We're kind of like that. We only have one air fryer, but we have 2 or 3 crock pots and 2 or 3 instant pots for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like, why do we have all this?
And instant pot, the instant pot's actually like because I can cook a pot of beans in like 4 hours instead of 20 hours.
30 seconds by opening a can.
If I wanted a pot of pinto beans or black-eyed peas or something like that, I can do it again in about 4 hours, maybe 3 hours, much less than overnight though. Usually, you got to soak them, then you got to rinse them, soak them, cook them. Like, nope, we're just gonna rinse them, and we're gonna put them in the pot for 4 hours. They're gonna be done. It's awesome. Plus, it's better for portion control. Usually, when I use the crock pot, I make way more beans than I think I need. But with Instant Pot, I make like just the right amount. It's great. There you go. So I got a little edge highlighting here on the. He's got these cool skulls. These Necromunda duders. I got these on eBay, and they're all like outlaw biker mechanics. They've all got like wrenches and a lot of these skull motifs, and I don't know what faction they are. I just thought I saw them on eBay. I thought they were cool, so I decided to pick them up.
I don't think I know that one.
They sound like Orlocks.
They might be. I don't know.
Are they bald? Are they bald?
No, they got hair.
Bald?
A couple of them are bald. Some of them bald. Some of them got hair, but they've all got kind of a theme uniform. They said they've all got these armor, sort of like these 1980s Road Warrior, almost like football.
Goliath.
Armor. And they've all got wrenches on their back. They've all got like man bags and Punisher skulls. And anyway, I'm just enjoying the heck out of painting them because they've got, to me, the right amount of detail. They're not like, it's not like painting Chaos Space Marines.
Where did you get your little ring light thing that you use?
This is from Canvas.
Is that a website?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get some lighting in here, man, because my eyes, I can't see anything because the light I usually use burned out. And I need to get something that has like some intense light.
Hey, Wargaming China showed up. Where's yours burning?
Yeah, I just said he was on there.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about him.
No, he was on your channel watching your show.
Oh, well, if any, like I said, this is probably my one legit contribution to the mini Warmut challenge. So, and
Well,
I've got a Gundam I put together earlier. I could paint for the.
dude, fucking, I don't know, man.
What?
I made a dedicated video for fucking that challenge. He didn't say a goddamn thing. And then I said something in my video last night. He obviously doesn't watch my channel. So it's like, dude, you're gonna plug it. If you're gonna plug it, talk up the people who are taking part in it.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on in Crafting Gamer's life right now. I haven't seen him on in a while. You know, again, a lot of folks don't live on YouTube.
No, I know, but I mean, shit. He asked me specifically to do this challenge for him and with him, and I'm like, okay, yeah, dude. So I'm like committing to doing it, but then like there's no committal on his end other than, hey, I'm gonna start this, which is fine. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's just, but shit.
Acknowledge that people are doing it. If you're, it's like hosting a party and then not showing up yourself.
Exactly. It's like here we're all gonna meet at the rec center, and here we'll have a party. Okay, cool. Then he doesn't show. It's like, which is fine. I'll still do it. I'll still go to the party. Whatever.
Oh, another thing I did with this mini is I put them all on the smaller bases, the Renedra bases, because they're about maybe an eighth of an inch thick or quarter of an inch thick versus the thicker Games Workshop bases. I really like the Renedra bases. The only problem I have with them is that they don't come in every size. I wish they made a 32 millimeter instead of the 25, because this guy could probably use a slightly bigger base. But
well, now I see if that would be something you could really put your thing to. What is that thing called? The 3D printer. You could make your own bases.
yeah,
That's what. And also,
Two
your 3D
size.
printers, you can
Absolutely two
resize
size.
shit. Yeah. You resize it to what size you want it. Like these Space Marines that I got. These are so I got some Mark 6. So that's the upscale, but here's let me just find a 28 mil real quick. So here's like a 28 millimeter, and then this is like a true scale Space Marine. So I'm doing some limited Warhammer stuff. I'm gonna make it true size to fluff. I'm not gonna do their game.
The 28 millimeter or 32 millimeter or whatever the heck they actually are.
If they're true scale, that's the thing about the Space Marines, is that they were always actually too small. The ones from the 90s, they were too small for the fluff.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have like 10. That's it. That's all you fucking need. That's like can take over a whole fucking planet with 10 Space Marines. So I'm rarely gonna use them because they're like, if the Space Marines are deployed, there's something really bad happening, and it's only gonna be a couple, or you'd be a few of them, like a half a squad, because they're gods. They're walking gods. So it's like, why the fuck would a Space Marine drive a tank? That's the stupidest shit. Why would he fly
A Space Marine doesn't drive a tank. It's the regular people that fly the that are the crewmen. They just get the Space Marines where they need to go.
The models show Space Marines flying that shit. I'm like, dude, they're not. They're like assault troop commando motherfuckers. They're not pilots and mechanics and that kind of shit.
I don't know. I think it makes sense to have them as pilots because they'd have the faster reflexes too.
But why would they fly? That's not. I mean, that's a waste of military.
Because they also have enhanced reflexes. and enhance brains. They're all supposed to be geniuses. They're supposed to enhance. The Space Marines are enhanced across every metric. They're smarter.
A
They're
handful of them,
faster.
too. Now, again, I don't know what the new fluff is. I know there's some Zing-Zongs or whatever the fuck. There's a new kind of Space Marine. I'm like the original, original Space Marines. Like, there's only 1,000 in a chapter. That's fucking it. There's only 1,000 chapters on the whole fucking universe. So you rarely see a fucking Space Marine.
Ow.
And they're not going to be fighting against, they're going to be fighting against demons and shit. They're not going to be worried about
Normal
uprising.
humans?
Yeah. Unless it gets really bad,
Well, that's what we are in Drop Troopers.
What?
So we're supposed to be with the Drop Troopers, except that we're not bigger. Our Drop Trooper characters are elites, and we're supposed to be wearing the armor, and you drop 100 Drop Troopers and you take over the planet.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're supposed to be. We just had our entire ship blown up without us being on it, and so we only had what we were wearing.
That's right. It's heavily based on Heinlein's Starship Troopers.
Yeah, we're supposed to be. Well, we are. Statistics we're above average, which is the average is 10. So we start out with greater than average attributes, which means you have better than average skills for the same skill cost. But if you're going to design your game to be that way, the lore, you really have to stick to it.
Yeah, you do. It's fucking ridiculous.
And I think they have. I don't think that all the original people who started the game back in the olden days are still with the game.
No.
Some of them are probably dead by now.
Yeah, there's a few that have gone.
And then others have just left because they don't want the new stuff. But it's all like what happened with D&D. There was a break between the people who were writing D&D stuff, and then Gary Gygax just basically took everything and put his name on it. And that made other people mad, and so there was a split. There was a schism in the amongst the game, and there are people who think that AD&D was the devil's game, and that it was perfect as D&D, and there are people who think that it's a whole ridiculous edition wars.
You got to read the book, right?
Which book?
Sling the Dragon.
Oh, well, yeah, that has a lot of good history in it. But it was basically, someone comes up with something new, and all the old players are either hyped for it or they consider it heresy. And the same thing goes for pretty much if you come up with something new and you have players that are hyped for it, you have people that are going to call it heresy. And
there it is.
If there are enough people that like it, then the old stuff becomes heresy.
Hull Red. Hull Red is a great base coat for skin. Because this is pretty close to the sanguine. If I pulled all the skin off your face, this is the color it would be. And it doesn't matter what ethnic tone you're painting. If you start with this and build up your color from there, you're going to have a really good skin. don't remember who I learned that from. Vince Venturella or one of those guys. Plus, if you mix it with white, you get a really good. You can really build up skin tones from there by mixing in yellows and whites to that color. But in this case, I'm going to use it as the very, very base for the maroon for my pants because I want the or not pants, jacket, because I want the shadows to come through. So I'm going to start with the whole red and build up the maroon from there. There you go. Two thin coats, people. 2 thin coats.
At one.
There you go. Anyway. So yeah, I've just been pretty much just working and sleeping for the past month. But I'm hoping that things will get better starting, well, every day's a new day, right?
Yeah. That's true.
Dude, I got a piece of lint or gungus or hair or something stuck to this mini.
Oh yeah, it's like if it falls on the floor, it's guaranteed dust bunnies or whatever, cat hair, my long ass hair, pink hair, or something.
I've got tweezers. There it is. I've got tweezers. I can yoink it off if I need to. But so I'm just gonna start building up some building a base coat on this guy's jacket.
Do you live near a game store at all?
Yeah, game stores here. Game stores here. They do 3 things. They do Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. They do 40K. They do 5e. And I would rather not play than have to play those games.
I mean, you could reach out and find some players and just host a game there. So,
Well, is that what you're doing then, Brian?
Do what?
Is that what you're
My
doing?
wife. That's what I do. Usually, this is what I do because I've tried, man. I've tried to reach out and play Weird World War II. The community's not. The gaming community around here is not interested in it at all. That's fine. So I usually wait for gaming conventions to put on my own games, and they're always a hit. They're always a lot of fun. A lot of people play it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, but I do occasionally. I break down, and I'll if I want a game, I'll go play some Bolt Action, Chain of Command, or some bullshit like that, just to get some gaming in. Then I play with all you chuckleheads online.
There you go.
But yeah,
So,
I mean, I try to be active. Go ahead.
There is no gaming community. There's only you and your friends.
Oh, there was a gaming community here, big time. It's really clicky here, guys. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why there's no gaming community. There's only your friends. You start getting involved with the gaming community, then you start getting involved with other people's expectations.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
And
I have never been anywhere where we had the same kind of gaming community as when I was in West Germany. And that's because, well, I don't know if it was because, but we were almost all soldiers. We were either all in the military or we had a couple of military dependents. But we would do stuff together. We'd go to movies. We'd go on go to events. We'd go to beer gardens. We went to the Frankfurt Zoo. We would go on day trips as a group. And I have never been anywhere else where we had that kind of community. where we did things other than just gaming. And the thing is, you know, there were other things to do, you know, lots of other soldiers and stuff, but none of them, we never hung out with anyone else. We only hung out with our group because everyone else wanted to go out and just get drunk on the weekend.
Yeah, in my
And that's
youth,
not what we wanted to do.
Yeah, in my youth, we had a gaming group that was like that. We'd play all sorts of different games, and there was like girls involved, and then we'd all go out and do things together and all that. But that was a while ago.
Oh.
But yeah, if you go and you know, to find a gaming group, it's hard nowadays because everyone, you know, if you're not playing the game, no one else cares. You know, they don't care what you're doing.
There's one group up in Waco. They seem to be pretty. They're mostly historical. They do a lot of different gaming, but again, it's nothing that I really game. So, but they seem to be pretty active, doing all sorts of different shit. They're mostly older guys.
I wouldn't want to get involved with any groups up in Waco. I'm afraid I might get invited to a barbecue. And if you do, you better make sure you include Janet Reno, or she might get jealous. And
I think she's dead, isn't she now?
yes, she's dead.
She died, I think.
All right, now I can start building up some maroon. Got a sufficient thin base coat there. Got to make sure I get that piece of metal. Make sure I paint that. He's got these like little like plates on stuck to his jacket, which I think is pretty freaking cool.
Watching a video today. This guy was talking about making a chaos cultist army or something like that, right? And because like I guess the GW stuff doesn't have like cultists that have dedicated like iconry for the gods or something. They're just kind of like generic looking whatever. He's like, well, you know, I went over here and I bought this STL and I bought this. I'm like, dude, you don't have to buy shit. Everything Games Workshop makes is in an STL that's free.
Yeah, you know, I know that you're off on these free STLs, but I want to make sure the people that made the STLs have food on their table.
I gotcha. I hear you.
So if a guy makes an STL that's cost $5 and it's a good STL, I don't mind paying it because, I mean, I can still print as many as I want.
But let me tell you why they're free, guys. Is because they're basically making a fucking copywritten item, right?
Oh,
and they're not taking money for it. They're just doing it, and people are just downloading and
right.
building shit.
If it is an exact copy of a Rhino, and you were to sell them on the open market as they are, some big company would get very unhappy with you.
Even if you're giving away for free, some big company can still DCMA you or copyright. They can.
That's what they do. They just stop. You know.
Like, you know what? My point is, Brian, is I don't want to get involved with something out of spite. I don't want to take free minis because, hey, screw Games Workshop.
No, but see, here's the thing. Some of the people are making the
fucking minis. It's not because of Games Workshop.
Some people are making these STLs and giving them away so they can spite Games Workshop.
But I'm not about that. Life's too short.
So if someone's making STLs and you're buying them, then you're supporting someone's work. But if someone's making them and saying, "Hey, here's a free STL of a Rhino. I made this one little change because I think they're stuck and this is what it should be," don't feel bad about it.
No, because you're.
Have you? So every PDF that you've ever downloaded, you paid for. Every single one. Every movie you watched online, you paid for.
Movies, yeah, movies. I don't do pirated movies. Either I watch them on a free service or I watch them on a service that I pay for. I don't go looking for, Russian hack sites so I can watch a movie. Some might have been, shady, like somebody uploaded a movie onto YouTube, but those are usually older movies. Or there's a movie like I watch at the movie archive. But I figure if it's on the movie archive, it's probably safe. It's not that I want to support any kind of corrupt system. I just want to make sure that that people get paid for their work. So I just don't want to. And again, if you make a copy of a Rhino, good example, or a Land Raider, and it's a close enough a proxy. Remember, a proxy is not a copy. A proxy fits the description. Hey, make a giant man, put him in power armor. Make him 8 feet tall in scale. Okay, well, that's not a Space Marine. It fits the description of a Space Marine, but it's not a Space Marine, right? If you make a proxy and you sell your hey, look, here's a squad of proxies for $10, and I buy it, that's cool. But I don't want to pay people. I mean, I'm not going to go looking for. I think this is two different arguments, though. One is the whole, disputation. But two, I just think that people that make STL should get paid for them. Now, if you make an STL and you put it up for free and it's an original whatever, that's fine. But I hope that hope you're getting some compensation otherwise.
Some people just want to help out. There's always that. Nerds Nerd did the Hungar statue, didn't ask for a penny, never will. She's working on something for me right now and not asking for a penny. And, there is that, get your name out. And, then, after you've given out a bunch of free stuff, maybe then you have, premiums or things that you have to pay for. But going onto the site, there's free stuff as well to keep you coming back. Eventually, people will bite.
Well, I'm a big fan of the crowdsourced, the crowdfunded model. I don't know if Patreon or whatever, if that's the best example of it, because they're getting their cut too. I don't know if what kind of bite they're taking. I do know a lot of
people do Patreon or Kickstarter. It's like, why can't you just set up a website and say, hey, send me this much money. This is what I'm making. Da, 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 da.
That's
because
what Patreon is.
They need the money to get started. They've got a good idea, but they need the money.
Why are they using the Kickstarter platform?
Because it allows you
everything for them.
It lets you know how many you have to buy. If you start a Kickstarter, let's say I'm going to start a Kickstarter. I write a book and I say this book is going to cost X per person to make it. I know how much it's going to cost to make it and how much it's going to cost to ship it, and I want to be recouped for my time and effort in making it. So what I do is I put out a Kickstarter.
Because Kickstarter is a very well-known platform to get the advertising. Because
the more, let's say I'm going to do it. I want to sell 1,000 copies of this book. If I don't get the 1,000 pledges, I can't afford to print 1,000 books.
I get the concept.
That's the point. So the more you're. So what it does is the Kickstarter platform lets you figure out lets you put out the thing and they collect the money. They get a small fee.
Why can't you collect the money?
Because why would I give money to Joe Schmuckatelli? You don't have
You're not guaranteed anything through a Kickstarter. There's no security. There's no insurance.
No, yes, there is. Because if it doesn't fund, the money comes back to you. And if they screw you, they screw themselves, because look at the whole hoopla over some of the games that have come out and not come out. And people have been waiting 3 and 4 years and are mad, and they're taking them to court. because it turned out that they were scamming people. They were doing a Ponzi scheme. They were
Not to
starting new
mention,
Kickstarters to pay for to push older product, to supply older product.
Kickstarter also does a lot of advertising that you may not have the time or resources for. They advertise the shit out of everything.
It just seems you're giving these fucks money for no reason.
Yeah, but
Just
again,
do it
okay,
all on
fine.
your own.
What's your time worth? Okay, look. Let's say I'm a regular guy. I got a job. I make X dollars an hour at my job. How am I going to? I got to spend the time and the money
I
to build
just
a
wouldn't do
website.
that. I wouldn't fucking give some guy money just because he has a website where I could do it all myself.
Do
It's
it.
just ridiculous. It's lazy motherfuckers. Just do it yourself.
Because I
Well,
have
Save money.
time
Brian,
to build a
Brian.
website.
What about guys like Hungar, where time is a premium, and he wants to get his comic book out there? It's going to do a lot of the work for him to get it out there. In the public eye.
And how
Even
much
if he
do they
has,
take from Hungar? How much do they take from
I don't know.
for just
I don't know.
being a website? That's all. It's just you put your he has to put all the shit on the site. He's got to do the videos and he's got to write the text. He's got to do all that shit anyway. They don't do shit. They just sit. They exist. That's it.
Now,
And Hungar's
Patreon
paying
is
them money
different.
for no reason.
Patreon is different from Kickstarter, though.
Why don't you ask people like the person asking you like Venger? Because Venger's put out 3 very nice hardcover books through Kickstarter. Plus all of his other, not counting this PDF only stuff, not counting his other 30 books, but the Chalk trilogy are very nice hardcovers with sewn spines, dust covers, the whole 9 yards. So he'd be the one to ask, why didn't you just do it yourself?
Yeah, he ultimately all they're doing is advertising his endeavor. That's it. They're not adding. It's because it's Kickstarter. It's not because he gets glossy pages. It's a hardback. No, that's all on him. It's all the endeavor is still on him. All it is Kickstarter. It just exists. They just sit there. It's a place to go. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, it's a website that people are just fucking duped into thinking, oh, you got to do it here because everybody else does. Why can't you just do it yourself and plug it yourself? You can get just as much money. You don't have to pay any fucking fees to anybody else other than those who are helping you produce the actual product that you're making. Anyway, that's just I don't dig it. I think it's just bullshit. They're just getting free money for having a website.
No, you don't. There's again, no one says you have to use them when you put your game out.
That's right. And I won't.
No. I wonder that this would be an interesting experiment. Then would you make more money using Kickstarter than you would without? This is the argument. And I understand your point. You're talking about cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
But like the man said, 1/3 of all people in this world are the middlemen.
I understand why people use it, but I think people use it just because they think that's what you do. It's what everybody knows, man. People fucking just drones. Just you don't have to use Kickstarter. Go to YouTube, make some videos. If you're in the community, spread it out. Because if you need said amount, if you need 10 grand to make your project, right? 10 grand is 10 grand no matter where the fuck you get it from, on whatever site it's on, right?
Right,
And
right.
anything above 10 grand is a bonus, right? That's extra that you're getting, but it's not what you need to make the project.
I think
And you have all these companies who fucking are dependent on these Kickstarters to be inflated prices so they can fund their previous bullshit. All it does is fuck the people, because all of a sudden that one thing doesn't, and oh, well, we don't have enough money to blah 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 blah, and things have changed, and well, fuck, there's no security.
Most people, though, you see, this is the thing. For every what was that game, Shadow Dark? For every Shadow Dark that's making millions of dollars on a Kickstarter, most folks are lucky if they clear 3 or 4 or 5. Most folks are making, most projects on Kickstarter are not getting that much money, even on Kickstarter. If you know, like Avenger, I think his last project was like $7,000. Now imagine if you don't have any name recognition, you don't have any reason for me to back your product, and you're trying to do it just solely by word of mouth. I think that a lot of projects, whether they're good or not, is irrelevant. They're going to languish in obscurity.
All you got to do is put 5e compatible on your project, and you're good.
Okay, now that's a totally different argument. I have told both Venger and Total Party Skills. I said, look, you guys are talented game designers and talented writers. If you keep making 5e crap and calling it OSR, you all you do is you lend credence, you lend veracity to TSR. Because
That's what I'm talking about, Bo. It's the exact same argument.
No, it's not.
OSR is the thing to do, so let's make 2 OSR. Kickstarter is the thing to do, so let's make 2 Kickstarter.
No,
Like,
that's I don't see a relationship there. I mean, one is a platform. Okay, if you're saying both as a platform just to make money, but or this is what people expect. I don't know. I think the Kickstarter will go away before D&D does. Maybe Kickstarter is just the next hotness. I don't know. But I think it's a tool that can do a lot of people.
There's more on Kickstarter than just games.
That's true.
I've been getting ads for all kinds of crazy nonsense through Kickstarter. CNC machines, laser etching machines.
Like you have a big. Remember the
all kinds of stuff.
Remember the truckers up in Canada were striking or whatever, and didn't they start some sort of Kickstarter? And then Kickstarter.
That was GoFundMe. That was GoFundMe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
that's another problem. You fall into these companies' political fucking bullshit too. If your thing doesn't coincide with their, ideals or whatever. And by proxy, that denies you, you got to be this way. You can't be that way, because if I can't be that way, I can't go on fucking Kickstarter or whatever. But yeah. I know it's a scam, guys. That's just me.
I have never regretted a single Kickstarter I've backed, and one of the things, the advantages of the Kickstarter. For me, the biggest advantage is everybody who does a Kickstarter, they do the stretch goals, which are bonuses that you get if they reach a certain amount of money. And every time I've done that, I have received easily double my money's worth by funding them that way. Something I would never get otherwise.
Isn't that usually just doubling things, or is it new shit?
It's stuff you wouldn't get otherwise. A lot of stuff is exclusives that if you don't back it, you don't get it. So there is that fear of missing out. But some companies will eventually release that stuff later.
Yeah, think of that rationale, Shadow. It's like if you don't give me this much money, you're not going to get this thing, right?
Well,
why would that
that's capitalism.
Another aspect is you have a company like I did it was one of the Steve Jackson Kickstarters. It was Ogre. I did the Ogre Kickstarter.
The original one?
The first big Ogre Kickstarter.
Box of
and
a coffee.
And so if there are stretch goals. If they raise enough money, they add things to it. By the time I got it, it had nearly doubled in value because of all the extras, because so many people said, yes, I am in. I've been waiting for this Kickstarter for, I've been waiting for you to republish this for decades. And I mean,
But you
and
know
all
what
I did was,
But you know what happened, Kat? They've already produced that shit, and it's just
no, they hadn't.
when they produce it, there will though, because it's been created to show you on the fucking screen.
No, all the only thing that was on the
Sometimes yes,
screen
sometimes no.
were photographs, or not photographs, but like
Yeah.
artwork.
Concept art.
Okay.
No, yeah, no. A lot of
Yeah.
times they'll use, like when you Archon did that with their last Rampart Kickstarter. They showed pictures of stuff, and it's like, look, if we get enough money, then we can also produce this. And if we get
Yep.
enough money, they're what it is it's in advance capital.
Yeah.
Use it, now, how you use that capital, well, you can use it honestly or you can use it dishonestly, right? Like the man said, you can use it to fund previous projects that you got behind on. You end up getting busted for that. Or you could, the way it's intended is that you use it to fund future projects. Again, it's exchange creates value. The value of a project is in what you perceive you get out of it. And if you perceive that you're going to get something that that again is of a value to you, then you support that project with your hobby dollars. Or again, like Kevin said, it doesn't have to be hobby dollars. It could be any dollars. I don't know, dollars. I mean, like I said, if you want to buy a laser etcher or a CNC machine or any idea that somebody has, the better
A graphic
mousetrap.
novel, a T-shirt. I mean, you name it, it's being done on a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, that sort of thing. And to date, it's always been worth it, and I'm gonna keep doing it with certain people. Even the small, like Midland Miniatures, they made a line of like 10 miniatures, like Call of Cthulhu priestess things that I nabbed. They ended up being all metal, and by the time I was done, I paid less than $5 a miniature, and all I had to do was help a small company out, make the money they needed to be able to fund the project. And how much, that one I don't even think had any stretch goals, or maybe had like one. But if that helps a small company get out a quality item, I totally understand. Maybe you got to think about it this way too. With trying to go to a bank saying I want to produce this line of miniatures, they're going to laugh you right out of the building. Okay, they don't care. They have nobody who can conceptualize what the actual value for this project is. They don't have those kind of people. You go into a bank saying I need a small business loan. What do you want to make? Oh, I want to make a comic book. They're like, yeah, we can't help you. Or projects like that are hobby related that are very niche, but they go on a Kickstarter, and lo and behold, like with Archon Studios, they were a company, a no-name company out of Poland. Nobody had ever heard of them. This is now their 5th year, going on their 6th year, and they now fund. They have 60 regular staff members. They started out with like a dozen. Their projects come out 4 to 5 months early. When they say it's a year, it's going to be like 3 to 5 months early. You're getting a bunch of free stuff. Yeah, you're going to have to pay shipping from Poland, but it beats China, and it's quality stuff, and they just keep pumping the money back into the company. And I will be with those guys. If they all only do Kickstarter for the rest of their life, which will probably be longer than I'm on this planet, I'm going to back them every single time. It's just, for me, I've been lucky. I know there's some horror stories. I ended up buying like the Robotech miniatures that were available, even though the Kickstarter failed spectacularly. It's like in the top 3 legendary Kickstarter fails. But I was also able to buy the Ogre game that the Cat was talking about. I got it all on the secondary market, and I looked it up, and I would have paid less than half had I backed the Kickstarter. And I would have got a lot more. Because a lot of people will back a Kickstarter at the retail level and just get a crap ton of that stuff at half, and then be able to sell all the extra stuff as well and quadruple their money here in the States or what have you. Awesome. Keep it up.
There are companies that don't even sell to the retail market anymore. They only run Kickstarters because
And
you
that would be
cannot,
that would be the
like Steve Jackson. Steve Jackson hasn't produced a GURPS book that wasn't a Kickstarter in the last 5 years.
And that's because all their money is going into Munchkin.
Oh, they're also running Munchkin Kickstarters as well.
Oh,
But the what's the one that does Bones? The
Reaper.
Reaper
Reaper,
Miniatures. They do Kickstarters, and I know people that do the that go into everyone, and they get all the extras, and they make a living, literally, on the secondary market selling the Kickstarters because other people only want part of it. They don't want to go in for the whole thing. So people buy the whole thing, and then they sell off the parts individually at retail price.
and make a killing. I need to back a Reaper Kickstarter. So many of them have been spectacular, but there's always, like you said, so much that I either already have or I just don't want. And that big ship, that sailing ship that was like, almost action figure size, gorgeous. Absolutely
Yeah, but have
gorgeous.
you
But where the
seen
hell
it
would I put
in
it?
person? Have you seen it in person? It's
No,
not
I've
all that
seen
exciting.
really, I thought it was, I mean, compared to the Falling Star made by WizKids, I was, I couldn't build one myself, and the kits that are out there for some of the pirate games, just like, no, I don't want to spend 3 to 6 months putting together a ship when I could just spray it, wash it, call it a day, and put it on the table. But I've never put the Falling Star on the table. Jackie and I painted it. We had a blast playing around with it, and I put it right back in the box, and it's on a shelf and hasn't seen the light of day in 2 years.
See, Shadow, that's why I don't buy minis anymore.
Yeah,
I've got a cupboard.
Here's
I've
the
got a
thing.
cupboard of my feet. I've got about probably 2 or 3 cubic feet of minis that I'll probably never in my life get to, and I don't want to buy any more.
No, I do. I look at it like this. I don't go to the movies, and I don't pay for cable, and I don't do any of that stuff. My hobbies are game related, whether it's books, movies, or miniatures, and I look at it as the price of admission, the equivalent of if I had gone to the movies for every movie that had come down the pike that I was even remotely interested in, because I used to go to the movies all the dang time. The popcorn, the experience, the whole bit, hanging out with the people before and after the movie, talking about
when
the
I'm
movie.
done, I've got like 2 boxes of minis back here that I've painted that I'm never going to use.
Sell 'em.
Never say never. Never say never. One of these days, you might find yourself, in a different situation, and you pull all this stuff out of mothballs, so to speak, and just wow your gaming group. It's just like, oh my God, we're never seen this stuff or whatever. One of these days, there
My
might
gaming
be.
group is in the stream with me.
I get
What?
that, and you could always do what Bruce does: put an overhead camera, and a face cam, and run your games with the actual miniatures. I've almost got everything I need to do that. I just need to figure out how to do that. I got a secondary camera now. I might go for a third one because our primary camera is dog water. If you saw our awards video, that was like the last video we used with it, and
It was dark. The lighting was bad.
Yeah. No, it was the camera. The lighting was. You can actually go and see one of the videos we did before in front of the Christmas tree, and it was significantly better. It just, that camera, like my freaking air fryer today, took a shit on me. I right in the middle of dinner. No, I understand. I got 5 years out of an air fryer. I'll call it a win, but I was hoping to not have to buy anything like that with my spare cash that I have every month for my budget. I was not expecting to have to buy an air fryer, and I'm going to be buying an air fryer.
No, I have got to get ready for work.
No worries. I got a game in 25 minutes or so. It's fun hanging out with you gents. We're all going to be there Friday for game night, correct?
Yeah.
Barring
Awesome.
unforeseen
Right.
circumstances. Well,
I'm still
anyway,
trying to convince my niece to play.
no, sincerely, no one is going to get played in this game until they're vetted extensively. I've had 2 bad experiences with this group. Anybody that wants to play is going to have to go through a session 0 with me. That's an interview. Plus, they're going to have to watch at least 1 session without playing, because I don't want someone to say, yeah, I've decided this game isn't really for me after playing for, 6 months or a year. So
It happens. It happens.
first you interview. I want to know what kind of RPGs you like to play, what kind of movies you like to watch, what kind of character you want to play in this game.
Come on, Bo. This is Melissa we're talking about.
I don't give a rat's. I don't care if we've resurrected Dave Arneson. I don't care if we've resurrected. You understand my point. I have to curate this game.
I understand that. I wish I could get EJ involved.
And plus, then that's another thing too. I'd almost prefer to have people that people that don't know each other involved too. That way, there's no possibility of any kind of favoritism.
Of collusion?
Yes.
Secret.
I will always collude. Right, Brian?
Yeah, baby. That's it. Human nature to collude.
You're not colluding. You're not doing it right.
That's why I want to make sure there's no factionalism on my RPG table.
Well, if you only knew behind the scenes.
Well, I am, like I said, I am the merciless god of my RPG universe.
True.
I understand. I totally expect that if you ever catch us in our colluding, that you will murder us mercilessly at the table.
Yeah.
Just melt down. The engine melts down. We all just explode.
No.
Rocks fall. Everybody dies.
No. What would happen is the planetary governor would swoop in with all of his military, arrest you, and take you to federal sodomize me for life prison, and then it would be fade to black, and the game would be over.
Good old sodomizing prison. Wonderful.
We call that pound you in the ass, but okay, you want to call it that? That's fine.
Well, I'm trying to keep a PG rated stream.
Oh,
man.
my bad.
All right,
you
guys,
you did invite Brian, so what were you thinking?
I'm a good guy. I'm an innocent folk. I'm a prude.
You don't even know how to spell that word.
It has a ooh in it.
It has an "u" in it. It does. You are correct.
I've got to get ready. I've got to get ready for work. This is I may be able to work on this a little bit tomorrow. Is 30 days of September, April, June, and November?
No, today's the 1st. Or no, tomorrow's the 1st.
No, tomorrow's the 31st.
Is it? It's the 1st.
Think so.
I'm looking at my calendar right now.
October, April, June, and no wonder. All the rest have 31 peanut butter.
So I have got one more day to work on this mini.
Yeah, but you know what? You might want to do it as early as possible, because I missed one, I think, because I thought I had that extra day. I think he does it. I'm uploading my stuff tonight.
It's not finished, and it's literally the only mini I've painted this month.
Gotcha. Sorry to hear that, man.
It happens, dude. It happens.
Yeah. Hey, he'll do another one.
At least you didn't buy any.
I'm not doing anymore, because I can't afford to let anybody down. This is for me, not for anybody else.
You better do mine in October.
Well, what am I painting in October?
The Weird World War II mini painting challenge.
I don't have any weird.
Or monsters. You painted up a monster.
Look, I
I'll
can't.
send you a fucking mini, dude. Okay. Jeez.
It's not a matter. I've got a ton of minis. It's not the minis. I'll freak look. Hold on a second. I have got a whole cupboard full of minis. I've got all kinds of crap. I've got tanks and Gundam. Look, I've got a whole box of Perry Brothers British infantry. Look at that.
What for?
You know what, to convert into sci-fi.
Oh.
Even though the scale on them is tiny bits, they're a little bit reedy, but they'll still work.
Perry's are true 28s, so they're closer to 25.
But yeah, I've got all kinds of minis to paint. The point is that I've got no time. And again, this is not my first hobby. This is supposed to be what I do to avoid stress, not to cause stress.
Give up that, seal killing, and just make mini painting your primary hobby.
If I made
That's not
mini painting my primary hobby, I would probably weigh 400 pounds.
Still
Because-
kung fu and kick ass, in between projects.
No. You exercise every day, and then you paint when you have time. And I haven't even done any serious exercise since I started this job because I've just been so busy. But tomorrow I teach my Wednesday night class. Tomorrow we get back into it. We get back into all the things. And yeah. No.
So you won't be joining us on table gatekeepers?
No, I'm going to teach my Wednesday night class.
Okay.
That's gatekeepers.
I like gatekeepers, but every time I've been on before, I've only been able to be on until 7 because I've got to be at my class at 7:30. And I need to get back into the exercise thing. Oh, it's still stuck in the ass phase, but
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna start making dinner.
Yeah, I had to break for dinner and find out my freaking air fryer's in the dust. But
Ride your
Brian,
bike
I'll be around after 8 o'clock ish, maybe. Otherwise, let's do something tomorrow. Get your stuff ready, because Sunday's almost here.
Let's shoot for tomorrow if we can. Do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Just
After hunger,
yeah, that'll work.
I'll have plenty
All
of
right,
time
guys.
after that. I'll have to forego my nap, but okay. For
Uh-oh.
you, no problem.
We'll make it quick. Because you're napping. All right, guys. Keep it weird.
all right. Well,
Hey,
hey,
Take care, everybody.
Sorry we missed
I gotta
you.
hit the road too. No worries, man. You guys have a good one. I will see you guys tonight or tomorrow.
Dun, 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 dun.